Hi everybody and welcome to episode number 3 of my F1 2018 career mode. This time we're here for the Chinese GP, a race which I'm very much looking forward to because China is one of my favorite tracks in the F1 calendar, at least to drive. And during the last couple of F1 games, it almost every time was one of my most successful ones, so I'm really kind of under pressure to deliver at this round, especially with Azerbaijan and Spain coming up next. So two tracks on which I'm not going to be that fast. I don't think that I will be faster than 6th place or something like this in Azerbaijan, and I'm not quite sure about my pace in Spain. So we really have to deliver here at China, and I'm very much looking forward to this race weekend. Going into this race weekend, I have upgraded, I think, a part of the engine, and with all the practice programs successfully done, we will be able to start some other upgrades by the end of the session. Going through Q1 and Q2 went pretty successfully as well, and now we're here in Q3, hopefully driving well enough to be at least in the top 4, although I definitely want to grab this pole position here at the Chinese GP. But we still have to wait and see. I think my pace in Q1 and Q2 look pretty good, but not quite fast enough because I made some mistakes when it counted, so I have to wait and see. Definitely having to drive a perfect lap here to be competitive and be in the fight there for pole position. Obviously you're going faster than Carlos Sainz, who provisionally was on pole position. Max Verstappen delivers a 1:32.5, I think. So this is a time I think that we should definitely be able to be faster than. I think the Red Bulls still are a little bit behind, although I think right before the race weekend they made some major upgrades, but they are still a little bit behind, while we made a little mistake going out of the hairpin. And now through the last corner, it was a pretty decent lap, not quite perfect, but it's enough to at least throw us in pole position provisionally. But going into the next qualifying lap, 30 seconds right before the end of the session, we were dropped to P3. I think Vettel is provisionally on pole position right in front of Lewis Hamilton. I don't really know what the gap's looking like. I think we're back by 4/10, but I'm quite sure that we are able to find 4/10, especially with the track developing throughout the whole session. So what's a little bit annoying is that we had a little mistake going through the first couple of corners, which cost us, I think, 2/10 all in all, which is why we're now in the middle of the fast lap, only up by a few thousands or hundreds of a second. Going through this double left-hander was much faster through there than in the previous attempt, but we're still only up by 1/10. We drive a purple middle sector, but I think it's not good enough already. I think it's not good enough to deliver us pole position, especially with now we're going onto the long back straight, but we're even down on our previous lap. So with DRS activated and overtake mode, and maybe braking a little bit later, we are able to improve our time, but I'm not that sure if we can move up in the grid order. We're up by 3/10, so we really gained a lot by the exit of the hairpin, but made a little mistake through the last corner. It's still P3, unfortunately. 80 thousandths of a second behind Vettel, which is pretty annoying, because we definitely could have found this 1/10.
Shanghai hat uns schon immer mit faszinierenden Rennen und extremen Situationen überrascht. Wir denken an 2004, als der Sauber von Felipe Massa Jenson Button in der ersten Kurve beim Großen Preis überholt hat. Aber wir erinnern uns auch an die Debütsaison von Lewis Hamilton, wo er hier in China seinen ersten WM-Titel verspielt hat, und an Nico Rosbergs ersten Sieg für Mercedes in der modernen Ära im Jahr 2012. Und bei mir ist heute Stefan Römer. Jetzt würde ich gerne mit dir über Romain Grosjean reden. Wie so oft geht es natürlich um Zuverlässigkeit. Und ja, in der Tat werden Sie heute von einer sehr ungünstigen Position aus starten, da Sie einige Triebwerkskomponenten ausgetauscht haben. Das wird heute alles andere als leicht für Sie.
Aber das Gute dabei ist, dass Ihnen diese neuen Komponenten dabei helfen können, sich bis ganz nach vorne durchzukämpfen. Ich rechne ehrlich gesagt heute mit einem sehr aggressiven Kurs, um den problematischen Start auszugleichen.
Wir sind so gut wie bereit und so sieht die Startaufstellung für das heutige Rennen aus. Sebastian Vettel hat eine leere Strecke vor sich. Er startet von der Pole. Und daneben steht Lewis Hamilton. Die restliche Startaufstellung sieht wie folgt aus. Der Wissenschaftler, Bottas, Daniel Ricciardo und Verstappen. Hülkenberg, Sainz Junior, Magnussen und Esteban Ocon. Gasly, Alonso, Sergio Perez und Van Dorn. Leclerc, Ericsson, Lance Stroll und Sergei Sirotkin. Grosjean, er hat eine Gridstrafe erhalten. Und Brandon Hartley macht die Startaufstellung komplett. Und jetzt wird es Zeit, zur Strecke zu schalten.
After the points finish last race, let's aim to keep the momentum going.
So, looking at the race strategy, I think the best strategy would have been to start on the softs like Hamilton is doing and simply doing the one stop with switching on the mediums. But maybe with the probability of a safety car, our strategy might be a little bit faster, although I kind of was a little bit annoyed that I didn't make it through to Q3 with a set of softs because I really bottled this lap, which was pretty annoying. But with that we have to start on the ultras, which should definitely suit us better for the start, so I definitely hope that we can overtake Hamilton going into the first couple of corners and then maybe able to attack our teammate Sebastian. But we have to wait and see, at least get off the line well. So 5 red lights and away we go for the Chinese GP. It looks like it's a pretty decent start and we overtake Lewis Hamilton going into turn 1. Hopefully we can hold it. Yes, we can. We go a little bit wide, but Hamilton cannot fight back, so we did everything we had to do going into the first couple of corners and now we're right behind our teammate, whom I definitely hope to overtake during this lap, so I get pit stop preference because the first pit stops will not take long to happen. I think the pit window opens in lap 5, but I think we definitely have to pit early because those ultra softs will not last that long. Yeah, and by the end of the lap we could keep up with our teammate, so that's something which really is very promising, that we can keep up with the AI during the first lap, and we got a great exit out of the snare section. And with overtake mode, rich fuel mixture and slipstream, we should definitely have a go. Going down into the hairpin, we have a little go at Sebastian. We briefly are in the lead of the race, but on the traction Vettel can out-traction us once again. Pretty good English. But in the background you could briefly see that Bottas overtook Hamilton, and now we definitely are on a charge going into the first turn. We should definitely have a chance to overtake Vettel once again, but we back out of it. It would not have made any sense. I think we both would have crashed out if I would have just turned into there, but we might have a little go at him once again by the end of this lap on the back straight, but for now we have to settle in P2 and hopefully get away of those Mercedes. But once again going into the snare section by the end of lap 2, we still are very close to Sebastian, and I think Bottas still is in front of Lewis Hamilton and already going away from him a little bit. So pretty surprising to see that those softs are definitely much slower, but we ourselves have a little go again at Vettel, but we are not close enough to dive down his inside into the hairpin, and I think that's our next try gone for the moment at least. But oh no, Vettel actually is going into the pit lane. Vettel goes into the pits by the end of lap 2, and I think both the Mercedes have stayed out, so Hamilton would stay out was pretty obvious, but Bottas did not go into the pits as well, so we definitely have to drive a qualifying lap now to maybe be able to rejoin the track after our pit stop in front of Vettel, and I think we're definitely going to pull into the pits ourselves by the end of this lap to not lose any time, because I think those fresh softs of Vettel should definitely be faster than our used ultras. We go a little bit wide there and almost do the Hamilton of 2007, but fortunately for us there is no gravel, hasn't been any gravel since a few years. And yeah, we definitely rejoined in front of Bottas. Ricciardo still in the pits, but we lost, I think, a few tenths, maybe half a second or a second to Vettel, which is pretty annoying. So we should be rejoining behind him. Yeah, there's Vettel with the provisional lead of the race. But for now, Hamilton obviously takes the lead. I think he should pit in lap, I think, 12 or 13 would be logical for him to pit there. But yeah, I think Vettel, definitely is going to be in some traffic, and that's the case in lap 5 now. He is rejoined back to the queue, which is led by, I think, one of the Haas, but Vettel first of all has to overtake Brandon Hartley. Going into the snare section, he tries to have a little look around the outside, which turns to the inside now, going into the snare section, but they lock each other up. I think Vettel's left rear somehow collided with Hartley's front right, and this definitely opened us the chance to take the provisional, or after the pits of the lead of the race. And Bottas now has a little go at our teammate, which is pretty annoying once again, because we need this very good result here at China, and Vettel really needs to get some points in this season now. First two races haven't been quite successful for him, and here tries to stay ahead of Valtteri Bottas going into the last corner. We ourselves have a go at Lance Stroll going down his inside into the first corner, almost crashing into the side of him. We overtake Sergei Sirotkin in the same move and are now right behind Marcus Ericsson. Fortunately for us, we have a little gap now between us and our teammate. We have both the Williams between us. I think the gap is already at 2.5 seconds almost. So Vettel should definitely have some trouble in overtaking both the Williams. We overtake, or try to overtake, Ericsson around the outside in the middle sector, going down the inside now, and we overtake him for P7 now in lap 6. Pretty crucial move, because we didn't lose too much time there. We lost some time, but not too much. And in lap 7 now we have a go at Charles Leclerc. I tried to save some of my ERS in the process after I was clearly ahead of Vettel. So going down Leclerc's inside in the hairpin, we overtake him as well. And the battery is now charged up to 70% in lap 8, so I really managed this one well. And because the gap to Vettel is, I think, 4 or 5 seconds, because he really had some trouble in overtaking some other cars. We overtake Esteban Grosjean in lap 8, and we have now Stoffel van Dorn right ahead of us. But we are up into P5 once again, and which should now turn into P4. Yeah, thank you very much, in lap 9. And I think this is actually the lap when Lewis Hamilton is going into the pits, so a little bit earlier than I expected. He still has 19 laps to go on those medium tires. He rejoins the track, I think, in front of Vettel maybe. Yeah, definitely rejoined the track ahead of Vettel. He even got Leclerc between him and Vettel, which is pretty frustrating for Vettel, because he really lost a lot of time in the traffic. But very crucial for Hamilton to rejoin in free air, so he is definitely on a charge now to hunt us down, because we with our used softs are still starting to struggle a little bit, because the tire wear was surprisingly harsh, and Vettel got a tire puncture.
Slowing down. It seems like there's some kind of
Tire failure, I mean. Unbelievable. So Vettel really has worse tire degradation than we have. We should definitely make it to our normal pit window, but Vettel could not make it. So once again, bad luck for our teammate and compatriot. That's annoying. That's so frustrating, because I mean, for me it's kind of easing off a little bit the pressure, because I should now easily make it to the podium at least, or should have secured P2 because of this. But for the team it's very, very annoying to have another car down the order, and yeah, I don't really know what to say about this. Lap 12 now. We are right at the back of Fernando Alonso and should have a go down the hairpin at him with the ERS. ERS deactivated for this corner to save some of it, and yeah, this is job done, and we are up into the lead once again as in lap 15 now. I think everybody has made his stop. Hamilton is in P2 and Ricciardo in P3. And for now we have a safety car. We have a safety car with 13 laps to go. And now it's interesting to see what the AI will do, because I will go into the pits to change on another set of soft tires. I think my pit window would have opened in the next lap or this lap either way, so yeah, pretty crucial for me. And Hamilton stays out. Hamilton stays out on used mediums, so we should definitely be on the charge by the end of this race and hopefully be hunting him down. Max Verstappen in P3 now, and he goes into the pits as well, as I think Fernando Alonso on mediums is going to be staying out. Yeah, Fernando stays out, and by that, or because of this, is I think on the podium. So Fernando should now be in P3, as in lap 17, surprisingly, the safety car suddenly turned off the lights, and yeah, I couldn't really manage to heat up my tires because I didn't expect the safety car to go into the pits now, because I expected it to go into the pits one lap later. But for now, Hamilton should definitely have better tires, because mine are not warmed up. Mine are at maximum 80%, 80 degrees Celsius, so pretty annoying for me, because I think Hamilton should definitely be faster in the first couple of laps. Now the safety car has pulled into the pits, but luckily for us we have a little buffer behind us, because Alonso definitely isn't fast enough to catch up with us, and yeah, should hopefully hold the cars behind on fresher tires a little bit up. But for me it was pretty annoying to see Hamilton pulling away. 1.4 seconds is the gap after the first race, after the safety car, so yeah, I really was a little bit afraid that I couldn't catch him, but once I got heat in my tires, I was able to, yeah, kind of cut down the gap to Hamilton and get a little bit closer. By the end of the next lap, we still are 1.4 seconds behind, but we're definitely hunting him down now. Unfortunately, we could save a lot of ERS in the safety car during the safety car period, but Hamilton could do so too, so our ERS was at 100%. For both of us, we went a little bit wide there after the last corner, and we're now hopefully in the DRS zone, so we should have a go at Hamilton hopefully soon, because we still have 8 laps to go. But once our tires start to go off, I don't want to lose that much time, so want to make this move stick as soon as I possibly can to make sure I can maintain the lead, because once I'm in the lead I should be able to maintain it and not give it back to Hamilton. But first of all we have to hunt him down, which we have done. I think it's lap 21 now, so 7 laps to go, and we definitely are close enough to Lewis Hamilton to overtake him on the back straight. Hot lap mode engaged, rich fuel mixture, DRS, slipstream everything, and we go down the inside into the hairpin and we overtake Hamilton for the lead of the race. But we managed to kind of outbrake ourselves, and this hands Hamilton the lead back. Pretty frustrating there, but I knew I had the tire advantage, so yeah, this kind of helped me to stay with him. But I don't want to make anything too risky. I don't want to risk this second place at least, but I definitely want this win, because like I said at the beginning of the episode, we will not have any more chances to win by our own forces in the next 2 episodes, so we definitely have to make this stick now. In lap 22 we are still close enough to Hamilton, as we did in another tiny mistake, but not big enough to put us out of competition for the race win. But going through this section, a really good exit is necessary to be able to overtake on the back straight, and once again we're very close to Hamilton. We are definitely in the slipstream. We have the DRS, we have overtake mode engaged, rich engine mixture, and this time we should definitely take the lead of the Chinese GP once again. With 6 laps to go, managed to not outbrake ourselves, and we take the lead of the Chinese GP. Crucially enough that it happened now, because after that my tire started to go a little bit off, and Hamilton managed to stay with us in the DRS, which was pretty annoying for me, but I just tried to not make any mistakes, as in the last lap I tried to push a little bit harder because I wanted to save my tires beforehand, because I didn't want to risk this race when I knew Hamilton would not have the chance to overtake me on the back straight if I get a better exit out of this narrow section compared to him. So this definitely handed me the race win here. Really managed the tires, the car, everything with those 6 laps to go after I overtook Hamilton. And this should be our second win of the season, but our last one for a couple of episodes at least, because I think the next time we have the possibility to win a race should at the earliest be at Monaco. So, race win here at China. Pretty good result for me, not for the team, as Vettel is a little bit down the order once again.
Hier ist unser Sieger, der seinen Ferrari in den Parc Fermé fährt. Was für ein tolles Rennen. Und Stefan, ich frage mich wirklich, was hier der Unterschied zwischen dem Sieger und der Konkurrenz war.
Ich würde sagen, es war schlicht und einfach das Tempo. Wir könnten den ganzen Tag über Strategien sprechen, überholen, auf die Reifen aufpassen. Aber wenn man gewinnen will, muss man halt vor allem schnell sein. Und genau das waren sie heute.
So, race win at the Chinese GP, a win I needed so much because of the pressure, because I'm not that sure how good we will, or how well we will perform in Azerbaijan and in Spain afterwards. And yeah, the first half of the season is most of the time one of, or at least the weaker one, with some exceptions. I think Australia is sometimes a good track for me. China's always a good track for me, but then we only have Monaco and possibly tracks like Silverstone, but Austria, Hockenheim, traditionally not one of my fastest tracks. So Vettel down the order in P18, he even got a 3 seconds penalty. I'm not that sure what that's for, but we obviously maintain the lead in the driver standings. We have led every single race in the driver standings since we joined the competition here, but Ferrari obviously in P2 in the Constructors Championship, as Vettel only has scored 16 points so far. Right before I started those interviews here, I think before the start of the race, I turned off that those interviews are time pressured, because you can actually turn this option off, which I find a little bit better, because I'm not that sure if it's that realistic to have to answer within the next 10 seconds. Because in reality it's kind of a little bit different, because here you have to read through all the answers, and that's from my point of view not that realistic, which is why I turned off the time pressure in those interviews. I think at the end of this episode we are going to start an aerodynamic upgrade, which should hopefully be on the car for Azerbaijan, but I'm not that sure. No, it's only Spain, so we have 2 upgrades coming for Spain, the aerodynamics and I think the engine upgrade. But hopefully, or it would be better if the engine upgrade actually is on the car when we are in Azerbaijan. Hopefully you like this episode. Make sure to leave a like if you did, subscribe to my channel if you're new. And I have to say sorry for my bad English. I realized during this episode that it wasn't that good, but I don't really know what to say. I just wasn't that concentrated today, but I wanted to get this episode out, and hopefully I can sort this out for the next few episodes, and hopefully deliver some better ones. Not in terms of racing, because this one was pretty good from my point of view, but in terms of commentating. until the next episode, which should be the Azerbaijan GP, I hope you're looking forward to that. I am definitely doing so, not really to driving, but to commentating, because I don't really like this track, but I definitely am trying my best to deliver a good episode for you. And until then, goodbye everybody.